I'm getting kind of rained on here. I want to tell you about a buddy of mine. This is late 2003. I was doing some work for a buddy of mine, and he had spent 2 years. We're going to call this guy Mickey. That is not his name. He had spent 2 years studying a number of different indicators between the euro and the U.S. dollar, and he was trading the euro against the U.S. dollar, the U.S. dollar against the euro, and he'd come up with this formula that he knew worked an enormous amount of the time, like over 90%. And as these two indicators that he had found were coming together, that's when you buy, and as they split apart, that's when you sold. And he, again, 2 years, he had lined his walls with day after day of these indicators printed out as he was studying them for 2 years. And I'd seen it. I'd been to his house many times. Anyway, I'd been to his house many times, and I'd seen this, and I'd seen all the work that he put into it. But he couldn't get himself to do it. He couldn't get himself to actually make the trades. And he was really frustrated, and he called me, and he asked me to work with him. And so we did a little work, and we started digging into this, because it was weird. This is a guy who he never failed to take action. This guy worked constantly. He believed that the harder you worked, not the more God loved you, but the more God loved you. That's basically what he believed. We dug a little bit, and finally I got to the point where I said, okay, why can't you do this? Why won't you do this? And he said, because you're not really earning your money. And I got dizzy. I said, Mickey, come on, man. You spent 2 years figuring this out. How is that not working? You did it every day for 2 years so you could learn this. And he was like, yeah, you're right. And so we did a little more work. We were able to at least destabilize that belief that this wasn't working. And about a week later, I get a phone call, and he says, hey, do you have plans for lunch? And I said, no, why? He said, well, meet me at this place. And it's an expensive place in West Houston. It's an expensive Cajun seafood place that I would have never been able to go to on my own. And so I met him there. He's like, come on, I'm buying you lunch. And we go to lunch, and he's all excited. And I said, Mickey, what is going on, dude? And he says, I'm up 30 grand today. Okay. So this is an extreme version of what changing your belief about something can do for you. We all have these things in our minds, in our heads. We have these beliefs in our brains for some reason. Sometimes I don't want to get into why they're there, but we all have them, and most of the time we need help changing them. We usually can't do it on our own. So if you believe you have some of these or one of these, contact me.